Welcome back to White Mountains today here on White Mountain TV 16. It is Sunday, January 22nd. And joining me in the studio from Tin Mountain Conservation Center, Susan Beane. How are you today?
Peachy keen. How are you?
Peachy keen. That's awesome. Now, we were talking earlier. We were singing earlier, too. We're going to sing this interview, by the way. If you missed the da capo, we're going to sing it.
Well, I think Obama did a beautiful rendition at the at one of his showings the other night.
Singing?
Singing.
I missed that.
And he has 3 notes. That's it. You had to have caught it.
Yeah, well, you don't want to hear my 3 notes. But anyway, we were talking because there's always something going on at Tin Mountain.
Yes.
Always something going on at Tin Mountain. You guys, I don't know how you keep track of it all. You have to have a big calendar. Big calendar. But one of the things coming up that we want to talk about is the Northern New England premiere of the 2012 Fly Fishing Film Tour. And now you were on last year.
Yes.
And we talked about the Fly Fishing Film Tour.
Yes.
And this has become a big thing.
This is becoming an annual. What's great is that we have a brook trout habitat restoration project. It's ongoing. And last year we thought the Fly Fishing Film Tour is a national tour that brings in filmmakers, and it's a competition for fly fishing film guides. And the competition's been great, and they compile 4 of the best of the year, and they send that tour around. So I'd seen it elsewhere, and I thought, Freiburg we don't have it. It would be great as a fundraiser for our brook trout project.
Sure.
And it was fun, so we have a little auction, a fly fishing auction. This year we have a Loomis rod, GLX 9, 6-weight, that's great. We have an Osprey reel. So basically the auction is to, again, raise money, have fun, beer and snacks beforehand, and it's sort of a cutting edge film.
That's great. Now, how long is the program?
Doors open at 6:30, auction begins then. And you can peruse, grab something to drink. Film starts at 7. There's a break after an hour. You come back out, check your auction items, and that's the last call for auction items. Grab another drink, and then go back, and it's probably until 9:30. Yeah, and there are door prizes as well. So it's a fun evening.
That's cool.
I think so.
And you were saying, because we were talking about this last year, and it was kind of like people going, oh, fly fishing films. But you said they're just incredible, these films.
Yeah, no, the music's great. The filming, that's the bigger part, is that this is inspiring filmmakers to really develop and hone their skills, and they have. And so we get the cream of the crop, the 4 top ones.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, it's energizing, it gives you insight. Last year was, I think, Patagonia. They also had some in Alaska. So you have all these different types of fishing areas and different approaches, but it still gets people excited about fly fishing. And if you can do that in February in Maine, in New England, you're doing fine.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of fly fishermen up here. I mean, that's the thing. There's, in the springtime, you see them just lining the rivers. And I tried it once, but I didn't catch anything.
There's a nice history up
here, actually. It was on
actually.
land, so that's why I didn't catch anything. But.
Well, fly fishing in the water has a nice history up here. And Dick Surratt and Dick Stewart started their fly fishing store, North Country Angler, which Bill and Janet Thompson continue. And they're one of the big sponsors of the Fly Fishing Film Tour here, as well as SS Flies and Bass Pro from Auburn, New York. So the history of fly fishing here in North Conway is big and long, and it's popular. They've done well.
Well, that's great. So that's coming up in 2 weeks from last night, so February 4th.
Correct.
Saturday, right?
Saturday,
Saturday, February 4th. So, and if you haven't been to the Laura Hill Eastman Performing Arts Center, I mean, just go for that. Just so you can sit in the chair, the comfy seats, and you look at the screen, and it's just a great experience to be there.
Yeah.
And I just imagine the whole venue and the whole night just becomes a nice experience. And,
actually, the Freiburg Academy and the Laura Hill Eastman Performing Arts Center is wonderful, and they are sponsors of the event as well. And you just step in there and have your event there, and it looks classy right off the bat
Right.
because the building and the space was wonderfully designed.
Absolutely.
Acoustically, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, no, it's a neat spot. So that'll
Yeah.
be a lot of fun. So that's coming up.
Yep.
And then we also, you were saying that the registration is opening soon. Get
Yes.
ready to push the button.
Yeah.
So that because you've got a couple big events coming up.
It's the 10-day countdown. February 1st is registration for the Mount Washington Auto Road Bicycle Hill Climb and the Mount Washington Century Ride. This year is the Mount Washington Auto Road Bicycle Hill Climb's 40th birthday.
Is it really?
So
40
yeah,
years.
Cool. And what's cool about this, and it's fun to talk to people and remind them about it, because everyone's spinning right now. I actually saw one cyclist on the road yesterday driving up from Boston, and I thought, wow, pretty aggressive and dedicated person.
Yeah.
So everyone's spinning now to get their miles on. But the hill climb, and I think you know this, has a great reputation of it's a limited field of 600. And so at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 1st,
Press the button.
get your computer set up and get your phone set up if you're going to do it that way. Registering online is actually the only way this time, so forget what I
Forget
said.
the phone.
Ignore
Yeah.
the phone, go on your computer. Because the field, though it is 600, fills up fast.
That's what I've always heard.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's
Yeah.
one of those things you've got to be ready to go. And what a neat event too. It's only one hill, as they say, which
Yeah,
I love. But what a neat event, because every year is always a little bit different. You never know what the weather's going to do, what the winds might do. And I've talked to people who've done
Yeah.
it, and they love it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, personally, I have trouble riding, up to my driveway, but they love it. And so it's one of those really neat things. So that's coming up, and that'll be when? What's the date for that?
That is February 1st.
For that, no, but when's the event?
Sorry. The event for the hill climb is August 18th, with the weather date being Sunday, the 19th. And then the Mount Washington Century Ride is July 14th, and that is a rain or shine gig.
Yeah, and another popular event.
Yeah, that's been growing nicely.
And one of
That's been cool.
nice things too about that is I guess it's the hospitality stations, or the
aid stations.
The aid
we call them.
stations, as I like hospitality. Aid sounds like you have a problem. Hospitality, it's friendly. I have to go back and cross that.
Yeah.
But you have that for the people when they're going on a ride, because it is a long ride. It's 100 miles.
Yes.
But what terrain you're going to see there?
It's a gorgeous ride, and as we all know, living here, but what's great for people who are just visiting, it's a beautiful scenic ride around Mount Washington. And should you not be able to do 100 miles, or don't want to do a stretch goal of 80 miles, or could only handle 40 miles, we have those set up for you to do. Every 20 miles is an aid station. So you can do it for the first time and get to the first aid station, so you turn around and go back. It's for everyone,
right?
And families and groups do it. And the aid station, hospitality stations, try to comfort you and replenish you so that you can get back on your bike and spin out and go far.
And it's not a time race.
No.
So you can take your time, enjoy the scenery.
And we have the Red Jersey Cyclery, have been a great supporter for both the Hill Climb and the Century Ride. They're out on the road watching you. They got your back, they got your front, they got your wheels, whatever you need. So it's comforting if one were a new cyclist, to get out there and go, let's see if it works. Something didn't work, you get a hold of someone on the road, the Red Jersey Cyclery, and they'd be able to help you out. So it's really nice.
It is very nice. So I'm going to do the 200-meter portion of it this year.
That's a sprint. It's a dash, we call it.
Well, Susan, there's, of course, so much that Tin Mountain does.
Yep.
And the best place to go is, of course, tinmountain.org to get all of the information, find out about this, get ready to push the button for those events. And there's, like I said, there's always something going on, always a great event.
Yes.
Just an article in the Union Leader this past week about Tin Mountain, so definitely check that out. And don't forget about the Fly Fishing Film Tour coming up February 4th at the Laura Hill Eastman Performing Arts Center. You can buy your tickets ahead of time and you save money.
Yes, and so our motto this Fly Fishing Film Tour on February 4th is to get your fish on. Let's get going.
Get your fish on.
That's right.
We ought to get Clay and Dave to go to that too. So, alrighty. So coming up next weekend, we're going to be chatting with Cranmore, Jackson Cross Country, and Cannon Mountain. right here in the studio. So definitely join us again next weekend. Susan, thanks again for joining us.
Rob.
And Ryan and Chris, thanks for doing whatever you're doing in the back room there. And we'll, of course, see you next time on White Mountains Today.
White Mountains TV's coverage of the Mountain Meister Race Series is presented